Umpire Tony O'Donnell's reading the two teams the Riot Act. These are two main clubs, or two of the leading clubs in the country, Carrickmines and Horetown, as they meet here in the AB final at the National Championship. As the two teams tap rackets, Carrickmines and Horetown, ready to do battle here in the AB final. As they line up, umpire Tony O'Donnell throws the ball and it's caught out the back by BJ Byrne. He heads up towards the area with James Smith. It's a long one into the area. Is it going to stay or is it going to run out the back? As the ball runs out the back, James Smith picks up the ball, ready for his free throw. Umpire Tony O'Donnell marks the spot. And play. James Smith takes the ball. He picks it up for himself. He takes a turn out of the horse. He looks to come out of his area to link up with one of his players. Connor Doyle's watching him like a hawk. Here comes James Smith. Now he bounces us across the line. James Smith, he's been hard ridden by Connor Doyle. He's looking for a way past. He pops one up to his number one for Carrickmines. She's hard pushed and Connor Doyle comes in with a big hit. Yeah, she goes. Joanne Lavery going down to the area. She bounces, picks up, and BJ Byrne lays the wood on. Who's back on it first? Joanne Lavery comes, she picks it up. She's going to make some space. She works her area. BJ Byrne watching her. He has a little swipe at her. She ducks away. She uses her area. She's looking for a way past BJ Byrne. Here she comes. She takes us right and throws it through the posts. 1-0 to Carrickmines. As they line up on the far side on Mick Kavanagh, the umpire on the far side. He calls them to hold out. This is time to get behind your teams, ladies and gentlemen. Who are you going to shout for? As the ball comes in, the ball's in, that comes down on Carrickmines' side. Who comes up with Sharon Kennedy's got the ball. Sharon Kennedy drives towards the area. She pops it up. It's picked up. Oh, there's helmets going, everything here. James Smith's looking for the ball. James Smith comes up to the ball. Connor Doyle's lost his peak. He's looking for a way out of the area. Connor puts the wood on. There's long arms of Connor Doyle looking to get the ball back. James Smith, he turns left. He's not coming yet. He's going to come when he's got it ready. Out comes the ball. It's picked up by Joanne Lavery. She lays the welly down. She's going down. Here comes BJ Byrne. Sharon Kennedy's on her. The bounce goes in. Who's going? Joanne Lavery comes up with it. She turns. BJ's out of position and the ball goes through the post. 2-0 to Carrickmines. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get behind your teams. Now's the time to cheer.
Hold time.
Hold time. Umpire Tony O'Donnell holds time. Connor Doyle's going to go and sort his peak out. Carrickmines and Horetown. Connor Doyle, Joanne Lavery out the front. Who picks it up? It's Sharon Kennedy. She loses it. She gets it back. He moves out to the area. And there's a pass. The pass comes in and it's caught by James Smith. What an interception. James Smith shows a bit of racket. Connor thinks about taking a swing. He changes his mind. James Smith takes a turn out of that horse. He bounces out of the area. He lays the welly down. He leaves the ball behind. Connor Doyle picks it up. Heidi puts the pressure on. He lobs it up into the area. James Smith's there to greet him. Connor Doyle, those long arms of Connor Doyle, he reaches out and picks up that ball. He's looking for those posts now. He wants to get his mark on this game. He puts a wheel in. He thinks about the high one and he goes round again. He's using his area around the umpire. James Smith watching him. He jinks this way, that way, and in goes the thing in goes the ball under the horse's neck. That's the first one up for Horetown. As they line up on Mick Kavanagh on the far side. Mick Kavanagh, one of the organisers here from Wicklow Bay. Fabulous tournament we've had in the National Championships this year. As they come in, he wants it right. The ball comes in, caught by James Smith. Oh, not straight. Tony O'Donnell sends it back. They're going to line up on the far side again. Mick Kavanagh's the ball in his racket. They line up on him. Ball comes in. It's down on the Carrickmines side. Who's going to come up with it? BJ Byrne has the ball. He flicks it behind him. Connor Doyle picks it up. He bounces over the line. He jinxes left, right, under the horse's neck, and it's another one for Horetown. As they come back to line up on Tony O'Donnell on the stand side.
What's the score, guys?
Joanne Lavery at the front of the line out. She calls for the ball. She wants her team behind him. Shot! Ball goes in. Hold time. Time's held. Scores 2-all as BJ Byrne brings the ball back to the umpire.
Not holding down.
Tony O'Donnell brings him back, and the ball's in this time. It's out the back. Who's back on it first? BJ Byrne. He reaches down. He picks up that ball. He is very close to that far touch line. He moves up. He's looking to link up with his number one. There's a lot of pressure being put on. Heidi and Joanne Lavery are putting pressure on BJ Byrne. He jinxes left. He right. Crossing over the back of the horse. Tony O'Donnell seen an infringement. It's a Carrickmines ball. Joanne Lavery has the ball in the racket. Tony O'Donnell marks the spot. She takes the throw, 10 yards. She pops it up. She sits up nicely for her. BJ Byrne's waiting to greet her. Sharon Kennedy's there. Which way are they going? She takes a turn out of the horse, leaves the mealy behind, and she puts the speed down and she comes down to the area. She throws it up on the offside. She picks it up. What a pick up at the far side. Whistle goes.
Is that okay? Is that okay? Yeah, that's perfect.
Is that going through that speaker though?
Yeah.
BJ Byrne has the racket. Ball in his racket. Mick Kavanagh holds the spot, marks the spot. Everyone's 10 yards. BJ pops it up. He catches it on his offside. Well, time's called.
6 minutes of wait. Pleasure.
For Carrickmines, we've got Ruth Shanahan, Mark Hall, and Ava Mannion. They tap sticks. There's Emily McDonough, Lorraine Scott, and David Young for Horetown. They come out for their first chucker. Mark Hall's out the front for Carrickmines. Emily McDonough, fresh from her under-21s, as they come into umpire Tony O'Donnell. They straighten up. Ball goes in! Emily McDonough, she picks up the ball. David Young looks to pick up a player. They move down to the area. Ruth Shannon's waiting to pick her up. The ball goes in the area. Emily McDonough, is she good enough to come up with it? Yes, she does on the second time. She moves around the area now, looking to get that ball, get first blood for this first chucker for the second sections. Emily McDonough with Ruth Shannon watching her. Emily's using her area. She comes, she puts on a bit. No. Ruth's watching her. She's looking for a way round. She turns right. She turns right. She's coming back left. Which way is she going to go? Is she going to find a gap through this Carrickmines defense? She comes round. Oh, the hit goes. The wood's laid on. The ball's in the play. Who picks it up? Emily rides over it. And the ball's on the ground there. Who's going to come up with it? They're looking for it still. They're pushing. Ruth Shannon, she comes up with the ball. She comes out of her area. No, she waits. She gathers herself. She gets her reins ready. She wants it right. She looks to put the... And she bounces out. She go, but she leaves the ball behind her. Who's going to be first back on it? Ruth's after it. Lorraine Scott's trying to put the pressure on. They ride over it, but Ava Mannion... No, David Young. David Young comes and cleans up. He pops it back to Emily McDonough. She goes. It doesn't come up. Ruth's back on it. Rushan, she picks it up. She gathers herself again. Emily McDonough, she keeps the pressure on Shanahan. Ruth backs her pony up. She backs her pony up. She wants trying to find a way back out of her area to link up with Ava or Mark Hall. She turns right. Who's there? Emily McDonough greets her again. She checks up. Here she comes now. She puts a bounce down. She leaves it behind her again. No, and the ball runs out of play. There's some tensions developing here on the pitch. Umpire Tony O'Donnell has the ball in his racket. What's going to happen here? Tony O'Donnell calls him in. The ball's come off a horse.
Hold it there once.
Mark Hall out the front, Emily McDonough. And the ball comes in. It's snapped in the front by Mark Hall. He looks for David Young, lays the wood on. Oh, he hits left, he hits right. He's trying to find a way by. The ball's down. David Young, he picks up the ball. He throws it back in field. Who's going to come up with it now? Mark Hall, he picks it up with a swing of his racket. He moves down, he bounces. And between the posts it goes. Carrickmines back on the board. As Mick Kavanagh on the far side, he calls them in now. Emily McDonough, Lorraine Scott and David Young for Horetown. Mark Hall, Ava Mannion and Ruth Shanahan out the back for Carrickmines. It comes down on the Horetown side. Emily McDonough's first to see it. She picks it up, she swings her racket. Ruth Shanahan's on her already. David Young tries to take a player off and they move down. Emily McDonough puts the speed down. She wants a way pass. She takes Ruth Shanahan onto her offside.
Mark, get up there when she stops.
Mark Hall tries to lay the wood on. There's Amelie there at the far side. Emily McDonough comes out of it. She's still the ball in her racket. She goes down. She pops it up to her offside. Who's going to come up with it? Ruth Shanahan knocks it out. It's a Horetown ball in the area. Emily McDonough gathers it up. Tony O'Donnell marks the spot. In comes the ball. Emily McDonough collects it. Ruth Shanahan, she's watching her like a hawk. Is she going to let this girl past her? She coached her through the under-21s. Has she taught her everything she knows?
No.
Ruth Shanahan lets her go out to the outskirts of the area. She comes by, she throws the high one. And between the posts it goes. Emily McDonough, she puts a goal on the board for Horetown. As they line up on umpire Tony O'Donnell. Tony No Nonsense O'Donnell calls him in. The ball goes in. Lorraine Scott. She snaps it out the line out. She puts the speed down. She's looking to link up with Emily McDonough across there into the area. Emily McDonough locks it down. Is she back onto it? No. She's back. She turns back onto it. They reach for the ball. Ruth Shanahan. She's got the ball in her hands. In her racket. She looks, she jinks left, she jinks right. She sets herself to come up out of the area. Ruth Shanahan puts a bounce and she collects it this time. She puts the speed down. She waits for Mark Hall to come down towards the area. Lorraine Scott putting the pressure. Emily McDonough lays the wood down as the horse goes down. Time's held. She puts her foot in the stirrup. Up she gets. Emily McDonough's back in the saddle. What's going to happen now? Tony O'Donnell, No Nonsense O'Donnell's going to call the shots. Mark Hall has the ball in his racket. It's a Carrickmines ball. Time's on. Mark Hall pops it up. Up thumbs the ball. He's looking to get down into his area. Lorraine Scott puts the pressure on. Ava Mannion tries to take a player off. Mark Hall, he jinxes. Oh, he swings his racket round. And he goes, he bounces the ball down. David Young, he lays the wood on. 2-3 hits. Look at that horse push. Is Mark Hall going to find a way round? The old generation take on the young generation. David Young bends down for the ball. He leaves it behind. Mark Hall turns and throws it between the sticks. Carrickmines put another ball on the goal. And the whistle goes for the end of Chucker 2. Joanne Lavery, fresh back from Australia, coming and showing her skills off here in Northern and Wicklow Bay. We better which side of the border we are here. As they tap rackets for their second chucker. This is the third chucker. And now we can see there's a bit of energy coming back into these two sections as they get ready for umpire Tony O'Donnell. He's got his finger up already and the whistle hasn't even gone yet. as he waits, asks them to wait. Umpire Tony O'Donnell has a word with the number 3 at the back. And now he calls them in. Time called on. Joanne Lavery snatches it out of the front of the line out. She's going to play it. Connor Doyle's hitting. The ball goes down. Joanne Lavery. Oh, Connor Doyle. James Smith comes up with it. James Smith. He looks to control the game. He wants to link up with his number 1. He pops it. He looks to take a player off of her now. Joanne Lavery, she jinxes left. She takes a turn out of her pony. She wants to find a way into the area. The Horetown crew do not want to let her. She comes and she puts the bounce down. BJ Burns there to greet her. BJ Burns, he puts the wood down. 1, 2. She takes a spin. And she puts it through the post. Joanne Lavery making her presence felt here at Wicklow Bay. Mick Kavanagh calls him up for the far side. Mick Kavanagh comes to pick up his ball. He bends down. He comes up with it. Mick Kavanagh. Mick Kavanagh throws the ball. It's snatched this time by Sharon Kennedy. Sharon Kennedy, she moves down towards the area looking to link up with Connor Doyle. Where's Connor Doyle? Connor Doyle, she takes a turn. She pops it up. Connor Doyle's the ball. Connor Doyle and James Smith, they do battle in the area now. Connor Doyle settles down. He takes a turn. The long arms of Connor Doyle. He wants to find a way past James Smith. Was he want the high one? No, he throws it wide. James Smith puts the pressure on. Connor Doyle throws it to the left of the posts. James Smith with the ball in the racket. Umpire Tony O'Donnell marks the spot. James Smith comes up. He pops it up to himself. The ball goes out. Does it sit nicely for him? Yes, it does. He moves on to the area. Joanne Lavery now. James Smith, BJ Byrne in hot pursuit. The wood goes down. 3, 4, 5 hits. Joanne Lavery, she looks for it again. Who comes up with it? Joanne Lavery comes up with it. She looks, she goes round the area. She looks and she puts it between the posts. Carrickmines put another goal on the board. Tony O'Donnell. Tony O'Donnell calls him on the stand side. Now's the time to cheer for your team, ladies and gentlemen. This is a fine display of Polocrosse by these. These are leading Polocrosse players in the country. Tony O'Donnell, he sends them out. In they come. Heidi and Sharon about to do battle in the middle. The ball's out the back. James Smith, he turns out fast. Who's going to come up with it? Neither of them. They ride over it. Connor Doyle back on it first. He picks it up. Joanne Lavery looks to put the pressure on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Connor Doyle puts the bounce down. He goes. What a pickup from that Connor Doyle. He takes a big turn out of that horse. He dummies and he throws a high one over the top. That has gone on into the next field. Connor Doyle. Okay. Mick Kavanagh, he picks up his ball. He calls them in. The ball. In comes the ball. Where's it going to go? It bounces on the Carrickmines side. Connor Doyle's seen it. He looks. He pops it up to BJ Byrne. BJ Burns the racket. Look at that fine display of horsemanship and riding and Polocrosse skills as they fire it through. Horetown trying to make their presence. They coming back now. They're hungry for this ball, ladies and gentlemen. 6-5. Carrickmines leading 6-5. Joanne Lavery, Connor Doyle. The ball comes in. Where's the ball? It's down. It's down. Joanne, how did... James Smith, he's got his eyes on that ball. He rides up it. Heidi, fresh from her under 21 career, comes up with the ball. She looks to link up with Joanne Lavery. In goes the ball. Joanne takes a turn. Look at that horse turn. And she throws it over the front. Carrickmines extend their lead. This is the new generation coming up, making their presence felt in our national championships here in Wicklow Bay. Mick Kavanagh, that's the 4th ball he's picked up this chucker. In comes the ball. Connor Doyle snatches it down onto their side. Joanne Lavery. This girl's on fire. The wood gets laid on Connor Doyle. That long arm of Connor Doyle. He catches it. He looks to make up. Joanne Lavery. She's pushing. Connor's pushing. The sideline. No. Connor Doyle comes now. He's getting for the area. The bounce goes and he collects. And he, off the post. Connor Doyle. James Smith, he wants this ball back. He's got it. Umpire Tony, no nonsense O'Donnell. He marks a spot. James Smith, he pops it up to himself. He collects it. Connor Doyle, he lays the wood on. 2, 3. Oh, it's very close to the line. Connor Doyle pushes him out. Time's held. Whole time. There was some serious pressure laid on there. Connor Doyle's his racket back. Connor Doyle's, he put the pressure on. He's got the free throw. Umpire Tony O'Donnell marks the spot. He tells him to move away. He calls the spot. And play does. Connor Doyle, he bounces it out. It bounces off. Whistle goes. Off the horse, neutral line out. Whole time. Is there something wrong? As a medical team run on to administer first aid to Connor Doyle. No, they've shied and they're going to look after the horse instead. Connor Doyle's left to look after himself. We can see where the Wicklow Bay ladies lay their priorities. They forget about the men and look after the horses. Connor Doyle's administering first aid to himself. BJ Byrne comes in to help. There we go. Connor Doyle, he gets back up. BJ Byrne back in the saddle. Carrickmines and Horetown. As here we are in the third chakra in the AB final. This is the best polocrosse you'll get in Ireland, ladies and gentlemen. These are the best two teams. And the ball goes in. Who comes up with it? Connor Doyle. Connor Doyle, the wood's laid on. He's too good. He flicks it into the area. He takes a spin onto that horse. Oh, he dummies and he throws the high one. It's between the posts. Connor Doyle's back on fire. And the bell goes for the end of the third chukka. 7-6, ladies and gentlemen, it couldn't get closer. Emily McDonough, Lorraine Scott and David Young. Mark Hall, Ava Mannion and Ruth Shannon out the back for Carrickmines. In they come. The twos line up straight. In the ball goes. Where is it? It's down here by Tony O'Donnell. He gathers it up. He sends them back out again. Mark Hall, he wants the ball at the front. Emily McDonough wants it. Lorraine Scott, she heads towards the area. Emily McDonough moving down. The wood's laid on. What a collection by Emily McDonough. She bounces, she throws. Oh, whistle's gone. That was a fine display of polocrosse by Emily McDonough. She bounced the ball into the area. The umpire's having a bit of discussion there. There's a bit of discussion. I think maybe time should be held here as the umpires try to sort out what's happened here. Time's held. The umpires meet in the middle. There's a bit of a provocation coming from the two players. They want this final, ladies and gentlemen. Mick Kavanagh and Tony O'Donnell, they discuss at the 30-yard line. What's going to happen next? Umpire Tony O'Donnell calls him up. He gives the ball to Ruth Shannon. He tells him to move away. There must have been a carryover. Ruth Shanahan, as she comes up, she flicks the ball up. It bounces. She collects it. She starts to move down. Emily McDonough. She wants to lay the wood on. Ruth Shanahan ducks behind her. She comes up. She's looking at her number one. She's focused. This lady is focused. She wants to get the ball to Mark Hall. The pass goes in. Mark Hall collects. David Young. Mark Hall. The ball's on the ground. Mark Hall, David Young. David Young turns on it. He picks it. No, he doesn't. Mark Hall picks it up. David Young puts the wood on. And the shot goes in. Goal, Carrickmines. As they come back, umpire Mick Kavanagh. He comes in. I can see him. He's going to bend down. He collects the ball. Does he collect it? He picks it up. He calls the teams in. Mark Hall, Emily McDonough. They want the ball at the front. It's snatched at the front. Now, in the line up again. Is that okay? Yeah? Okay.
I'd say we're going to see the replays on this now. We see the
Oh, Emily McDonough for Horetown. David Young gathers up the number 3. Emily McDonough. She puts a bounce in. She throws the goal. And goal, Horetown. There they come back to umpire Tony O'Donnell on the near side. This is our leading umpire in the country. Lorraine Scott has a question. She has her racket up. No, she doesn't. Balls in. David Young sees it. It's on the Carrickmines side. Ruth Shanahan down for it. Mark Hall down for it. There he goes. Emily McDonough this side. Lorraine Scott the other side. Mark Hall's never had this much attention from the ladies before. He's getting the pressure laid on the far corner there. What's happened? David Young, he passes it up to Emily McDonough. There's too much speed there. Ava Mannion collects the ball. She goes to link up. Mark Hall's putting the whip in. In comes the ball. Mark Hall collects. David Young, Mark Hall. This is a battle. This is a battle between youth and experience. David Young, he knocks the ball. It's dangerously close to the sideline. Mark Hall gathers again. He cheeky little flick. He collects, throws. He throws it wide. David Young can put the pressure on when he's ready. He goes to collect the ball. Umpire Tony O'Donnell marks the spots. He marks the spots. He calls play. Emily McDonough calls for the ball. The pass. What a display. Emily McDonough has the ball, rolls over the line. That was a very nearly a brilliant bit of play. Carrickmines ball. Tony O'Donnell passes it to Mark Hall. Mark Hall collects the ball. He plays. In goes the ball. He leaves it behind him. The ball pops up. Where's it going to go? Ava Mania. Lorraine Scott. Lorraine Scott goes. Lorraine Scott. Emily McDonough as they link up over the 30-yard line. She collects. She throws the goal. Goal time.
8 all.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, 8 all. It can't get closer. 8 all. Yes, please. Umpire Mick Kavanagh, he's the ball in his racket. He calls them in. He tells them to wait. Ball comes in, it's Carrickmines side. David Young, he comes up with the ball. He goes to link up with Emily McDonough. Emily McDonough throws the goal. Goal! Horetown take the lead for the first time in this match. A brilliant bit of riding there by David Young as he kept the 3 out of the area and then linked up with his number 1. Umpire Tony O'Donnell. In goes the ball. Emily McDonough's on fire, ladies and gentlemen. She goes. Emily goes. She looks for the bounce. Ruth Shanahan. Oh, Ruth Shanahan leaves it behind her. It bounces off a horse and it goes over the line. In comes the ball. Emily McDonough, she spins on that ball. She holds Ruth Shanahan to the side. Offside pickup. No, she doesn't come up with it. Hey, Ruth Shannon. She comes up with it. She's dangerously close to that back line. She makes her move. She comes. She puts the bounce down. She collects as she lets her pony stride down the field. Mark Hall, Ruth Shannon, as the bell goes. End of chapter 4. As they come in now, Joanne Lavery, Connor Doyle, Carrickmines, Horetown. This is not the first time this has happened, ladies and gentlemen. The ball goes in. BJ Byrne turns out the back. He's his eyes on the ball. He bends down. He picks that up. BJ Byrne. He starts to move. He's got 2 Carrickmines girls chasing him. BJ Byrne. Oh, the wood goes down from Joanne Lavery. He good. BJ Byrne's good enough to keep the ball. He looks for Connor Doyle. Connor Doyle takes a turn. BJ Byrne takes a turn. James Smith, he's marking him hard. Which way? Ends it coming in. In comes the ball. Connor Doyle collects. And the ball between the posts. Connor on fire. Doyle throws the goal. 10-8 the score as they line up on umpire Mick Kavanagh on the far side. Mick Kavanagh, who spent a lot of time getting all the schedules and doing the balls in. BJ Byrne. BJ Byrne, no. Joanne Lavery, no. Who's come up with the ball? It's on the ground still. Sharon! Oh, I think she might have crossed over there. Sharon Kennedy.
Racket came over, huh?
What? Carrickmines. Joanne Lavery's got the ball in a racket. Mick Kavanagh calls 10 away. He marks the spot. In goes the ball. Joanne Lavery, what a swing from Connor Doyle. Whoa, the pressure's laid on here, Joanne Lavery. She's looking at those goalposts. She wants that. She wants to get back in this game. Joanne Lavery, the pressure's on. Horetown don't want to lose their lead. The bounce goes in. BJ Byrne's there. He's watching her. And he puts the pressure down. Joanne Lavery comes around the front. She throws the goal. Carrickmines. As they come to line up on umpire Tony O'Donnell. Horetown lead 10-9. Connor Doyle, Joanne Lavery. They're watching that. And the ball comes. BJ Byrne. How did he catch that ball? Here's the ball. The Carrickmines girls are after him again. In comes a pass. Connor Doyle collects. He throws the goal. Goal! BJ Byrne and Connor Doyle have sorted themselves out. Mick Kavanagh. Mick Kavanagh has the ball in his hand. He calls them in. In comes the ball. It's Carrickmines side. Sharon Kennedy goes down for it. Does she come up with it? No. Joanne Lavery looks for the ball. There's the ball. Who's going to come up with it? BJ Byrne's there to clean up behind them. BJ Byrne, he ducks out. He makes some space for himself. The big swing comes in from Heidi. Oh, Joanne Lavery. Heidi put the pressure on. BJ's good enough to keep it. He looks for the pass. The pass goes in. James Smith, Connor Doyle. Oh, Connor Doyle evades him this time. James Smith, Connor Doyle looks for the high one. He throws a high one. Goal time, Horetown. As they come to line up on the stand side. He sends him back out again. He's not happy. He'll put the ball in when he's ready. Only when he's ready. The ball comes in. BJ Byrne turns out the back. He collects the ball. BJ Byrne, he's got his 2 girls after him again. Heidi and Joanne, they put the pressure down. Here he calls for it. Joanne puts the wood down. He pops the ball into the area. James Smith and Connor Doyle do battle in the area. Who's going to come up with the ball? Connor Doyle. Connor Doyle. He spins his pony. He swings his racket. He throws the high one. Connor Doyle throws the goal. Hold time. Time's held. Hold time.
Let's go.
Time's back on. Mick Kavanagh calls him in. He sends him back out. He wants it right. He says there's a tee there for a reason. Don't come over it. The ball's in. Carrickmines side. Who comes up with the ball?
That's what they're...
Carrickmines ball. He sends him away. Joanne retrieves the ball in her racket. She throws it to herself. It pops up. She collects. PJ Byrne looks to meet up with her. Connerdale lays the wood down. The ball's up in the air. James Smith. James Smith collects. It's down again. Heidi's after the ball. And Heidi collects. Joanne Lavery bounces across. The ball comes up. Joanne Lavery, PJ Byrne do battle in the area. Joanne Lavery needs this goal to keep Carrickmines in this game. She takes a turn out of this horse, PJ Byrne watching her.
Come on.
And she throws the goal. The overhand. She didn't do too many of those in Australia. She throws the goal. Carrickmines. Umpire Tony O'Donnell. He gets ready to throw the ball in. As they line up. 13-10. The ball goes in. It's out the back again. James Smith and PJ Byrne, they're looking for this ball. It pops up. Joanne Lavery, she's her eyes on the ball. What a pickup! They tap rackets. That's the last friendly tap of rackets we'll see for the next 6 minutes. This is what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen. It's something to be proud of, these Irish players here.
On him.
Umpire Tony O'Donnell, he tells them to wait. Emily McDonough, Mark Hall. They want, on the ball goes in. David Young, he turns, he's looking for the ball. Who comes up with it? Mark Hall, he comes up, it comes again. Ava Mannion, she collects. She looks to pass it up to Mark Hall. She finds a bit of space. She calls to him. In comes the ball. Mark Hall, he collects it. David Young, he's not going to let him get this goal easily. David Young will put the pressure. Out the side door, he throws the goal. Carrickmines. That's the goals we like to see here. They line up on the far side. Mick Kavanagh call them in. They're going to have to wait for the goal scorer to come back. Fantastic.
The horses have to go back on them later.
Yeah, the ball comes in, it's down on the Carrickmines side. Who comes up with the ball? It's on the ground. Ruth Shannon, she leaves it behind. That doesn't happen too often. It's Lorraine Scott, she collects. She looks for Emily McDonough. In comes the ball. Emily McDonough, she leaves it behind her. The ball's on the ground. Emily McDonough, and she carries it over the line. Out by Tony O'Donnell's whistle sounded. Ruth Shanahan has the ball in the racket. Tony O'Donnell marks the spot. She pops it up to herself. Ball sits up nicely. She collects. She moves down the field. She knows she's got pace in this little horse of hers. She starts to go. Ava Mannion taking Lorraine Scott out of the action. What a hit from Emily McDonough. The ball's on the ground. Emily McDonough's first back on it. Ava Mannion leaves it behind. Who's going to collect? Mark Hall, David Young. David Young puts the pressure on. Lorraine Scott's back on the ball. She picks it up. Lorraine Scott, she cleans up. If you're going to leave it behind, I'm going to pick it up, she says. She looks to link up with Emily McDonough. She takes a turn. Oh! What a hit from Mark Hall. But David Young cleans up. The pass goes in. Emily McDonough. Emily McDonough throws the goal. Goal time. Lorraine Scott gets off her horse. She collects her racket. She wants to get back in this game. Umpire Tony O'Donnell. Emily McDonough, Mark Hall. In comes the ball. It's down on the Carrickmines side. Ruth Shannon, no, she has it in her racket. She looks to link up with Mark Hall. Mark Hall's David Young over on the far touchline. In comes the ball. Oh! Whistle goes. Carry over. Tony O'Donnell marks the spot. David Young. He comes. He pops it up. Oh! And the wood gets laid on. Mark Hall wants that ball back. David Young moves on the field. 2 Carrickmines player after him. They want this ball back. He puts the brakes on. David Young from Horetown Equestrian. He looks to link up with Emily McDonough. David Young, he takes a turn. Emily McDonough's not ready for it yet. They're turning this way, they're turning that way. Ruth Shannon puts the pressure on Emily McDonough. She's not going to make it easy for her. And the wood's getting laid on Haver, Mania, Mark Hall. They put the pressure on. Oh, what a pick up from Emily McDonough. Emily McDonough's the ball in the racket. She heads for the 30-yard. She bounces. Oh, she leaves it behind. Ruth Shannon she bends down. She picks it up. Ruth Shannon from Carrickmines. She needs to be down the other end of the pitch with Mark Hall. 11-13, they trail. She comes on. She bounces. She collects. Watch this pony move, ladies and gentlemen. She cuts it behind them. Mark Hall, David Young do battle. She checks up. Here they come now. She turns. And crossing behind. There was a lot of pressure laid on Ruth Shannon there. Mark Hall's finding it hard to get past that David Young. Emily McDonough's the ball in her racket. She knows where she wants to be. Tony O'Donnell sends him away. She pops it up to herself. Whoa! Whistle goes. Line him up. Tony O'Donnell called the spot. He called the spot. She didn't go from the spot. Line them up. Neutral line out. Hold it, he says. The twos are pushing and shoving in the middle of the line out. He sends him out. He wants it right. In comes the ball. Ruth Shannon turns on it. David Young turn on it. Who comes up with it? David Young. He pops it to Emily McDonough. She collects. Emily McDonough. She sets sail for the goals. She comes to the 30-yard. She flicks it over to her offside. She collects. Ruth Shannon's there to meet her with a bit of wood, but Emily McDonough, she throws the goal. 15-11 to Horetown. There's not much left in this match. 15-11 for Horetown as they lead. Umpire Mick Kavanagh's hands up. 7, 6. Who's going to come up with the ball? Mark Hall's looking. Ruth Shannon's looking for it. Mark Hall. Oh, time. A big clap for these horses and these players, ladies and gentlemen. A fine display of Polocrosse from both teams.
Ellen.
Ready now.
6:30, 10 minutes.
Make it them time.
Yeah, you'll have to give them some
20
time.
minutes. Three.